Hello, esteemed gentlemen. You don't date a Sigma male, you enter a psychological war zone disguised as a love story. Welcome to a world where charm isn't loud, romance isn't predictable, and love doesn't follow society's GPS. Because when a Sigma male falls in love, it's not a cute fairy tale. It's a calculated wildfire. Controlled, intense, and absolutely untouchable. Here's a cold, hard fact. Less than 2% of men are Sigmas, and even fewer of them ever let someone into their inner world. Why? Because relationships to them aren't about emotional spoon-feeding. They're about mental survival and energetic alignment. Forget candlelit dinners and long walks on the beach, unless that beach is on Mars, and the dinner is a 3-hour debate on Nietzsche and quantum physics. This isn't a rom-com, it's a psychological thriller, and you're either the co-star or you're cut from the script. So buckle up. Because what you're about to discover isn't what Sigma males say. It's what they do when they let someone into the fortress they've spent a lifetime building. Let's dive in. Number 1. He doesn't open up. He makes you earn access to his inner world like a vaulted archive. He doesn't open up the way most people expect in relationships. There's no emotional monologue, no dramatic confessions over dinner, and definitely no hand-holding while spilling his darkest secrets. A Sigma male is like a locked vault with no visible keyhole. He doesn't hand you access just because you showed up. He makes you earn your way in, not out of arrogance, but because his inner world is sacred ground. It's been built, destroyed, and rebuilt too many times for him to just throw the door open to anyone who smiles the right way. To most people, this makes him look emotionally distant or even cold. But what's actually happening is the opposite. He's watching, not to judge, but to assess your emotional intelligence. He wants to know, can you handle depth without drowning? Can you sit in silence without feeling abandoned? Can you be trusted with his vulnerabilities without turning them into ammunition later? He doesn't open up with words. He opens up through patterns, subtle shifts in behavior, rare moments of eye contact that hold more weight than an entire paragraph, or the way he starts involving you in things that matter to him. These are not accidents. Each gesture is deliberate. It's his way of handing you pieces of the blueprint to his internal fortress and seeing if you can read it without trying to redesign it. And if you try to force it, if you nag, beg, or guilt-trip him into talking about his feelings, you'll lose him. Not because he doesn't feel, but because you just revealed that you don't understand how he does. To a Sigma, the process of opening up isn't about emotional vomiting. It's about strategic revelation. He gives when he knows the ground is stable, when he senses you're not here to fix him or feed on his pain, but to stand beside him, unshaken, patient, and strong. So if he starts showing you pieces of his mind, take it seriously. You're not just getting to know a man. You're being invited into a kingdom that most people will never even know exists. Number 2, he studies you like a case file. When a Sigma male is in a relationship, he doesn't just get to know you. He studies you, quietly, relentlessly. Like a case file, he's analyzing for inconsistencies, triggers, and long-term viability. While most men are caught up in charm, flattery, or trying to impress, the Sigma is watching. Not to manipulate, but to understand you at a level you probably don't even understand yourself. He notices what you say when you're tired, how your energy shifts when you're uncomfortable, the way your tone changes when you're lying, even just a little. He picks up on the pauses between your words, the fake laughs, the subtle glances, all of it. To the outside world, it looks like he's calm, maybe even a little emotionally detached. But in reality, he's running thousands of internal calculations every time you interact. He's not doing this to be paranoid. He's doing it because loyalty to him is sacred, and he refuses to give it to someone he can't psychologically verify. He needs to know, what are your emotional pressure points? Do you hide behind charm? Do you crumble when confronted? Are your values stable or performative? He wants to see your raw data before he ever considers giving you the full version of himself. And here's the twist. He'll never tell you he's doing this. You won't see it coming. He won't interrogate you. He won't accuse. He'll just observe, letting you reveal who you really are when no one's watching, because that's the version he trusts. Not the curated performance people put on in the beginning. If you're inconsistent, manipulative, or emotionally volatile, he'll clock it and slowly begin withdrawing without drama or explanation. But if you're grounded, self-aware, and emotionally authentic, he'll begin unlocking parts of himself most people never see. That's the irony. The more real you are, the less you have to prove. Because while others are busy trying to impress the Sigma, he's already 10 steps ahead, quietly deciding whether you're a temporary fascination or someone worth building with. Number 3, he's loyal, but his loyalty is ruthless. When a Sigma male gives you his loyalty, it's not casual, it's not performative, it's not built on sweet words or public declarations. It's built on silent decisions, deep analysis, and a private code of honor that few people ever get close to. But once you're in, once he's decided that you're worthy of his loyalty, he's unshakable. He's the type to stand by you when the world turns its back, to defend you in rooms you're not even in, and to give you access to his guarded world without hesitation. But here's the part that most people can't handle. His loyalty is ruthless. There are no second chances with a Sigma when it comes to betrayal. No drawn-out arguments, no passive-aggressive guilt trips, no messy emotional theater. If you lie, cheat, manipulate, or violate the trust he gave you, you're done. Not yelled at, not shamed, erased, quietly, completely. It's not spiteful, it's surgical. One minute you're part of his life, and the next you're a ghost in a space you once occupied. It doesn't matter how long you've known each other, how deep the connection was, or how good the apologies sound. Sigma males don't feed off emotional chaos, they cut it off. To them, betrayal isn't just a mistake. It's a breach of the rare access they gave you. And that access isn't given again once it's burned. Ever. And the most unsettling part, he won't need closure. He won't need to talk it out or get emotional resolution. He is the resolution. His silence is the sentence. You won't see him rant on social media or vent to friends. He just disappears, emotionally, mentally, even physically if needed, and doesn't look back. This kind of loyalty is rare because it's extreme. It's all or nothing, ride or vanish. And if you've ever had the privilege of receiving it, you should understand that it's not built on emotion alone. It's built on trust, discipline, and the quiet weight of a man who protects few, but protects them like a fortress. Betray that, and not even your memory is safe. Number 4, he treats love like a mission, not a mood. For a Sigma male, love isn't some dreamy escape or emotional vacation. It's not about chasing constant highs or acting like characters in a movie. He doesn't fall in love because it feels good. He engages with it like a mission, with precision, focus, and purpose. If he chooses to let someone into his life romantically, it's because he sees potential in you, not just emotionally, but mentally and energetically. You're not there to make his life easier. You're there to make it sharper. He's not testing your loyalty with flowers and promises. He's testing it with pressure, with silence, with real-life chaos. Can you stay grounded when he pulls away to work on himself? Can you match his intensity without falling apart? Can you challenge him without trying to control him? These are the tests he runs, sometimes without warning, because he's not looking for someone to complete him. He's looking for someone who can survive the mission with him. The battlefield isn't about drama or conflict. It's about how you both hold up when life isn't perfect. How you deal with discomfort, unpredictability, ambition, and detachment. If you crack under pressure or turn love into a demand for constant attention, he'll start to disengage. Not because he's heartless, but because he doesn't operate in emotional fluff. He operates in reality, in growth, in resilience. And if you think love is supposed to be a non-stop romantic high, he'll feel like a cold wall. But if you understand that love, real love, is about building through friction, pushing each other higher, and navigating chaos together without losing your identity, then you'll thrive with him. He treats love like a mission because he is on a mission. One that doesn't stop just because he caught feelings. So if you can't handle the intensity, the focus, and the expectation to evolve alongside him, you'll feel more like an obstacle than a partner. But if you can, you won't just have his love. You'll become part of a force few ever get to experience. Love with a Sigma isn't soft, it's forged, it's earned, and it's built to last. Number 5, he's romantic in ways that force you to think, not feel. Romance, for a Sigma male, doesn't come wrapped in cliches. He's not going to flood your phone with heart emojis or book a hot air balloon ride because some influencer said it's couple goals. That's not how his mind works. To him, real romance isn't about triggering your emotions. It's about triggering your intellect. He doesn't want to make your heart race. He wants to expand your mind. You might expect flowers. Instead, he'll bring up something you said 6 months ago, something you don't even remember, and weave it into a conversation so layered, you'll realize he's been studying the architecture of your brain the whole time. He'll recommend a book or a documentary that connects directly to your personal evolution, not just your entertainment. He'll ask you questions that make you stop mid-sentence because you've never actually thought about your answer before. That's how he flirts, through mental depth, through intellectual precision. And sometimes it won't feel romantic at all. He might challenge a belief you've held since childhood. He might dissect your logic in a debate just to see if you have emotional endurance. To someone else, that might look cold or combative. But to him, it's intimacy. It means he respects your mind enough to test it, sharpen it, and bring it closer to his own. This is a man who values mental chemistry over candlelight. A man who believes that if he can't be stimulated by your thoughts, he'll never fully connect to your presence. His version of romance might be sending you a rare article at 2 a.m. with the caption, "This made me think of you." Or stopping mid-walk to ask, if you could change one event in history with a guaranteed ripple effect, what would it be and why? If you're looking for predictable affection, you'll miss his signals. But if you crave a connection that activates your brain, rewires your thinking, and leaves you walking away from every interaction a little smarter, you'll realize this man's love isn't just different. It's evolution disguised as affection. Number 6, he will protect you, but only after you prove you can protect yourself first. A Sigma male isn't the type to swoop in and rescue you from your problems. He's not your savior, your therapist, or your emotional crutch. He doesn't fall for damsels in distress. He watches how you handle your own battles first. He needs to see that you've built your own armor, sharpened your own mind, and can walk through fire without waiting for someone else to carry you. If you can't protect yourself, he won't feel drawn to protect you. He'll feel repelled. To him, weakness isn't just about falling apart. It's about dependency, emotional chaos, and people who constantly need saving from their own self-inflicted messes. If you live in victim mode, if you can't make decisions without validation, if your life is an ongoing soap opera of drama and excuses, he quietly backs away. Not because he lacks empathy, but because he sees it as a bottomless pit. And Sigma males don't waste their energy. But when he sees that you can handle yourself, that you fight through pain, that you own your mistakes, that you don't collapse every time life gets brutal, something clicks. His instinct to protect doesn't come from pity, it comes from respect. Once you prove that you're self-sufficient, that you don't need him but choose him, he becomes fiercely protective. Not in a controlling way, but in a silent, powerful way that says, if anyone touches you, they'll answer to me. And here's the twist. You'll rarely see it coming. He won't announce it, he won't make a scene. He just starts making sure you're covered. He notices threats before you do. He eliminates problems before you even know they existed. He watches your blind spots, strengthens your weaknesses, and stands behind you like a silent fortress. But that level of protection only comes after you've earned it. Not with words, but with your strength, resilience, and ability to carry your own weight. Because to a Sigma, the only kind of woman worth protecting is the one who never asked for it, but proved she deserved it anyway. Number 7, he'll quietly upgrade your life, but you'll rarely notice until he's gone. When a Sigma male enters your life, he doesn't try to change you with speeches or pressure. He doesn't walk in with a checklist of how you should evolve. He doesn't say, here's how I'll improve your life. He just does it, quietly, consistently, and without drawing attention to it. He upgrades your mindset the same way software gets a silent update in the background. You don't even notice it happening until one day your entire system is operating on a higher level. Suddenly, the things you used to tolerate start irritating you. The people you used to admire now seem shallow. The goals you once thought were big now feel small. That's not a coincidence. That's his influence. A Sigma male elevates the environment just by existing in it. Through his standards, his mindset, his silence, his refusal to accept mediocrity, he forces you to rise. Not because he told you to, but because his very presence makes anything less feel out of place. You'll start thinking more clearly. You'll find yourself having deeper conversations. You'll become more intentional with your time, your energy, your words. Being around him isn't always comfortable, but it's always transformative. He doesn't pamper your ego, he sharpens your character. And the beauty of it is that he never asks for credit. He's not interested in being your guru or your life coach. He just is the standard. And being near that standard rewires how you operate. But here's the part most people don't understand until it's too late. You rarely realize how much he changed your life until he's gone. One day you'll wake up and feel the absence, not just of him, but of the version of you that only existed when he was around. The heightened awareness, the mental discipline, the elevation. That's when it hits. You didn't just lose a man, you lost the mirror that reflected your best potential back to you. That's the Sigma's silent impact. He doesn't demand your evolution, he makes it inevitable. And once you've tasted that level of self-awareness, no one else will ever feel enough. Number 8. He doesn't want to be needed, he wants to be respected. Neediness disgusts him. A Sigma male doesn't want to be your emotional crutch, your safety net, or the solution to your chaos. He doesn't thrive on being needed. In fact, it turns him off. The more someone clings, the faster he detaches. Neediness signals instability to him. And dependence? It feels like a trap, a slow, suffocating erosion of the independence he values in both himself and his partner. What he craves is respect, not the performative kind, not empty praise or flattery, but a deep, grounded respect for who he is, how he thinks, and how he chooses to move through the world. He wants to be seen, not for what he can provide or fix, but for the principles he lives by. His boundaries, his discipline, his refusal to play the emotional games everyone else seems comfortable with. To a Sigma, love that's built on emotional dependency is not love. It's dysfunction in disguise. He wants to know you can stand on your own, that your happiness doesn't rely on his attention, that your confidence doesn't shrink in his silence. He's not impressed by people who fall apart when he's distant. He's impressed by the ones who remain grounded, composed, and self-possessed no matter what. If you need constant reassurance, constant connection, constant emotional babysitting, you'll exhaust him. But if you admire him for his mind, respect his need for solitude, and don't crumble when he pulls away to recalibrate, you'll earn a loyalty most people never see. And that's where his affection begins, not with need, but with choice. He doesn't want to be everything to someone who has nothing else. He wants to be something sacred to someone who already knows how to stand alone. That's the paradox of loving a Sigma. The more you try to need him, the more he withdraws. But the more you respect him, with space, silence, and strength, the more he starts to reveal himself. To him, love isn't about merging into one chaotic mess. It's two complete people choosing again and again to walk beside each other, not out of necessity, but out of mutual power. Number 9. He'd rather end the relationship than dilute his mission. For a Sigma male, everything in his life is secondary to his mission. It doesn't matter how deeply he's invested in a relationship or how intense his feelings might be. If the connection begins to interfere with his purpose, his growth, or his drive, it ends. No hesitation, no guilt, no compromise. His mission is non-negotiable, and anything that pulls him away from it is seen as a threat, no matter how much love or attachment is involved. To him, love isn't a life raft to keep him afloat in the chaos of existence. It's a partnership that should elevate him toward his higher purpose. If it doesn't do that, it becomes a distraction, even if it feels good in the moment. And this is the brutal truth. If the relationship starts to drain his focus or pull him away from his goals, he'll let it go without looking back. His loyalty isn't to the relationship, it's to his own mission, his path, and the legacy he's building. You could be the most amazing partner, the most loving and devoted person, but if your presence starts to hinder his growth, if you demand too much attention or emotional energy that he feels is better invested elsewhere, the relationship will quietly fade. He won't argue. He won't ask for closure. He'll just walk away without dragging it out or complicating it with unnecessary drama. He knows exactly who he is and what he needs to accomplish, and he understands that any relationship that doesn't align with that purpose is ultimately a distraction, no matter how in love anyone may feel. This might seem cold or harsh to some, but it's not about a lack of affection. It's about a deep respect for himself and his vision. His purpose isn't something that can be diluted by temporary emotions. So if you're with him, understand that his mission will always come first. If you support that, if you fit into that narrative as a partner who encourages his growth, you'll be a part of his life. If not, the relationship won't last, no matter how much you wish it would. Number 10. He's attracted to your intellect first, then your energy. Looks are last. For a Sigma male, attraction doesn't follow the typical order most people expect. He isn't drawn to your looks first, or your physical appeal. In fact, while he may notice it, it's not what captures his attention or sparks his interest. What draws him in initially is your mind. He's attracted to your intellectual depth, your curiosity, and the way your brain works. He wants to know if you can engage with him on a level that challenges his thinking, if your conversations push him to see the world differently. For him, that's the real seduction, the ability to stimulate his intellect and engage in thought-provoking dialogue. But it doesn't stop there. Once he's captivated by your mind, he's drawn to your energy. He notices how you carry yourself, the confidence you exude, the drive that propels you forward. He admires ambition, focus, and a sense of direction in a person. It's not about being flashy or loud, it's about the quiet strength that radiates from someone who knows what they want and isn't afraid to pursue it. This energy becomes the glue that keeps his attention, keeping him intrigued and invested. Your beauty, as stunning as it might be, is background noise in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't dictate your worth in his eyes, nor does it determine how he values you. Looks might grab his attention momentarily, but they won't hold it. It's your substance that keeps him around, the way you think, the way you navigate life, and the energy you bring to every situation. For a Sigma male, the mind and spirit are far more compelling than physical appearance. And if you're fortunate enough to capture his intellectual curiosity and ambition, you'll find that those traits are what create the real, lasting connection. Number 11. He will not validate you. He'll challenge you to validate yourself. A Sigma male doesn't give you the validation you expect because he doesn't believe in coddling insecurities or reinforcing false confidence. He won't throw you empty compliments just to make you feel good in the moment. Instead, he challenges you, not to make you doubt yourself, but to make you find your own worth independently. He's the mirror you didn't ask for but desperately need. And he's not here to reflect back a flattering image. He's here to show you who you really are, even if it's uncomfortable. He holds you to standards, not emotions. If you're slacking or settling, he'll notice and won't hesitate to point it out. He doesn't care about how you feel about the truth. He cares about you being the best version of yourself. In his world, external validation is unnecessary because he expects you to validate your own progress, your own strength, and your own potential. His role is not to stroke your ego, but to push you beyond the limits you've set for yourself, to make you face the uncomfortable truths that force you to grow. You'll rarely hear him say, "You're amazing," just to make you feel good. Instead, you might hear him say, "You can do better than this." He'll encourage you to own your actions and decisions, to take responsibility for your own growth and mistakes. He won't give you excuses or emotional padding. And while this might feel harsh at times, it's rooted in respect. He believes in your ability to rise without relying on his constant approval. In the end, his challenge is a gift. Because by the time you fully understand his approach, you'll realize something crucial. You no longer need validation from anyone. You've learned to validate yourself, and that's the kind of confidence that lasts. Number 12. He views intimacy as a strategic alliance, not a sentimental fantasy. A Sigma male doesn't give you the validation you expect because he doesn't believe in coddling insecurities or reinforcing false confidence. He won't throw you empty compliments just to make you feel good in the moment. Instead, he challenges you, not to make you doubt yourself, but to make you find your own worth, independently. He's the mirror you didn't ask for, but desperately need. And he's not here to reflect back a flattering image. He's here to show you who you really are, even if it's uncomfortable. He holds you to standards, not emotions. If you're slacking or settling, he'll notice and won't hesitate to point it out. He doesn't care about how you feel about the truth. He cares about you being the best version of yourself. In his world, external validation is unnecessary because he expects you to validate your own progress, your own strength, and your own potential. His role is not to stroke your ego, but to push you beyond the limits you've set for yourself, to make you face the uncomfortable truths that force you to grow. You'll rarely hear him say, "You're amazing," just to make you feel good. Instead, you might hear him say, "You can do better than this." He'll encourage you to own your actions and decisions, to take responsibility for your own growth and mistakes. He won't give you excuses or emotional padding, and while this might feel harsh at times, it's rooted in respect. He believes in your ability to rise without relying on his constant approval. In the end, his challenge is a gift. Because by the time you fully understand his approach, you'll realize something crucial. You no longer need validation from anyone. You've learned to validate yourself, and that's the kind of confidence that lasts. In the world of the Sigma male, love isn't about grand gestures or the chase. It's a quiet, steady force that demands respect, requires independence, and thrives on mutual growth. His commitment isn't won through dependency or emotional manipulation, but through authenticity, resilience, and the willingness to match his intensity. If you're fortunate enough to be in a relationship with a Sigma, know this. You're not just with a man, you're with someone who sees the world differently, someone who doesn't just want love, but wants a partner capable of standing shoulder to shoulder with him in the face of life's challenges. But don't mistake his silence for indifference or his withdrawal for coldness. Every action, every choice, every moment of his life is guided by the same purpose: to build, to evolve, to transcend. And if you can match that vision, if you can respect his need for space and honor his mission, you'll discover a depth of connection few will ever experience. So the next time you're with a Sigma, remember, it's not about the love he gives, it's about the empowerment he provides. When he chooses you, it's not because he needs you. It's because he respects you enough to invite you into his world, and his loyalty is not given lightly. But once you're in, you'll find yourself becoming something greater, something stronger, something you might never have been without him. And should the journey together end, you won't just miss the man. You'll miss the version of yourself you became through the fire of his presence. That's the extraordinary power of a Sigma male's love. It transforms, it challenges, and above all, it lasts, not because it's easy, but because it's earned. If you found yourself captivated by the world of the Sigma male and the depth of his unique approach to relationships, don't miss out on more content like this. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you're always in the loop with more insights into the world of high-value individuals, psychological dynamics, and the truths that no one else is talking about. If you enjoyed this video, like it to let us know, and feel free to drop your thoughts, experiences, or questions in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And if you think someone else needs to see this, share it with your friends or anyone who would benefit from understanding the Sigma mindset. Thanks for being part of this community, and I'll see you in the next one, where we dive even deeper into the world of powerful, independent minds.